All right, guys, before we start the episode, we need to play you something. We found it in the cabin in the woods, and it's haunting.
Yeah, and with me being a skeptic, I probably am going to think it's fake.
But we need to know what you guys think.
Kunda, Estrada, Montos.
Cal, I don't like this. Turn this off.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to turn it off.
Kanda,
I can't, dude.
Misarta.
Dude, keep trying.
I can't turn it off.
Indocto.
Jake!
Kana.
Jake, dude, are you good?
Yeah, so anyways, roll the intro.
And yeah, I'm going here.
If your power goes out, remain.
Welcome to the graveyard.
Everyone in the theater went, oh!
No, I don't smoke cigs.
You can't just sit down and watch it.
Take personal security precautions to avoid becoming a victim of an attack.
This is the Supernaturals podcast on the SPN network.
Welcome back to another episode of the Supernaturals podcast. And today, we're going to ignore the obvious red flags and open up the Necronomicon, otherwise known as the Book of the Dead. That's right. This week's episode is all about Evil Dead, baby.
Groovy.
As you may know, Evil Dead is one of, if not, my absolute favorite franchise in all of horror. I think you can do pretty much anything with it. It doesn't have to be this overarching story, which means that each one can feel vastly different than all of the others. It's also a franchise that started with horror, then moved to slapstick comedy, thanks to Ash Williams, and is now back to fully embracing its high-octane horror and gore-filled roots. With a franchise that had a total successful revival and seems like it's here to stay for a long time, let's dive into this lovely film and have a bit of chaotic fun, yeah?
I think that sounds good.
All right, this episode is going to be a little different than our usual deep dives because we are going to have some fun segments along the way. And yeah, I'm just excited to talk about it because Evil Dead is truly, truly, truly one of my favorites.
If you couldn't tell.
If you couldn't tell. So yeah, let's start with the first film in the Evil Dead franchise. In this, we're going to talk a little bit about the movies, have some fun facts, things like that. And then we're going to move into a couple fun segments that we created that will be kind of fun. So without further ado, let's look at Evil Dead.
The film begins with 5 friends headed to a remote cabin in the woods. Here they discover a mysterious tape recorder and the Necronomicon, otherwise known as the Book of the Dead. After playing the tape, they unknowingly unleash a demonic force that possesses them one by one, leaving Ash to fight for survival.
Mm-hmm.
Ash Williams is pretty... He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
One thing that I do love that kind of came from that is the little spin-off show that he had.
Yeah, Ash Williams versus Evil Dead. We are, unfortunately, you're not going to talk about
we
that
aren't,
in this
but
one. Just
it's a fun watch.
It is worth noting that it is fun.
Yeah. So a few fun facts about the film. It was made for only $350,000. Can you believe that?
I know.
All these movies made for such little money.
Mm-hmm.
And that money was almost fully paid by friends and family of Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, by the way, who grew up together. They also learned filmmaking as they shot the movie. It kind of sounds like us.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They grew up together.
Yeah.
They, just said, screw it, we want to make a movie. And they raised the money for it. And now all of a sudden it's a franchise.
I mean,
Well, not all of a sudden.
I can't really it's hard for me to fathom like raising that much money from just friends and family and be like, we have this idea. It's really good, but we need $350,000. It doesn't seem like a lot, you know, but it also is like, if you can make it happen, and it worked out. So
yeah, I do think it is a lot. It's a big ask.
it is a big ask.
Granted, Curry Barker just raised. Isn't his last name Barker?
Yeah.
I'm tripping, right? Yeah.
It's Curry Barker.
Curry
yeah.
Barker, just random. Curry he raised $750,000 to make Obsession. So it is possible.
It is possible.
Granted, I do think, actually, if you think about it, $350,000 back then might equal like $750,000 now.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. So, hey, maybe Evil Dead was the first Obsession.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it definitely kicked off something.
yeah.
So, and now all the new adaptations to it are quite entertaining.
Mm.
Literally everything pointed to this film being a flop, but it did the exact opposite. The shoot was full of injuries and grueling conditions, oftentimes in freezing temperatures. Bruce even said that he felt like it was filming a war. The film was banned in a number of countries because of how intense it was. Well, we'll end it with my favorite fact, though. The iconic demon cam. That was made using DIY rigs, which is so cool how they do it. It really is. Like one of the ways that I learned was hooking up like this wire and just running the camera across it. It's just like, that just seems like such an interesting, like, let's just try this and see what happens.
It's also risky because if that wire fails, your camera is going tumbling and it's over, you know?
Oh, I know. One, including the camera being attached to a wooden plank, and they just ran it through the woods is how they did it, tilting the camera every so often.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, probably didn't have gimbals back then, so it probably was really tough to like hold it.
Have it, and they're just running, and they just do this like every once in a while.
But it looks good.
It does, yeah.
And that concludes a couple fun facts of Evil Dead. And yeah, I mean, that movie was a fun watch.
Yeah. With that, we're going to go to Evil Dead 2, which is actually, it's not my personal favorite, but it's a
movie.
Lot of people, well, a lot of Evil Dead fans, this is their favorite one.
Yeah, it is good.
This is the movie that truly defined Ash Williams, if I'm being honest with you. So, described as a loose sequel / remake, in this film, Ash returns to the cabin with his girlfriend. Things get weird and they unleash the same demon from the first movie. Ash then has to navigate increasingly bizarre and violent supernatural events. He loses his hand in the process and, replaces it with a chainsaw. Why? Because badass. That's why. The reason this film is sort of known as a requel, thanks Scream 5, is because Sam Raimi didn't actually have the rights to reuse any footage from the first film, which in its own right is so strange. Hollywood is weird, man.
I'll swallow your soul.
You all right, man?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Okay, anyway. So Evil Dead 2 is basically when the franchise embraced its horror comedy. It still features some spooky scenes, but when it comes to scenes like the laughing room, I mean, come on, it's just funny. This film also introduced Ash Williams' iconic chainsaw and groovy persona. Heck yeah.
And who doesn't love a good chainsaw scene? We will now briefly talk about The Army of Darkness, which is personally my least favorite Evil Dead film. That's because it really isn't an Evil Dead film, although it is, right? I don't know. In this film, Ash is transported back to the Middle Ages, which could be a cool concept.
Yeah, it is.
But here he must get the Necronomicon to return home. But of course, in doing so, he accidentally unleashes an army of the dead and must lead a battle against them.
Yeah.
This film basically abandons horror completely. They took an iconic horror icon in Ash Williams and threw him in medieval times. It's almost like taking Michael Myers and putting him in ancient Egypt. Regardless, if you watch the film not thinking it's an Evil Dead film and you just like Ash Williams, then you'll probably enjoy it. This is also a film where Ash calls his shotgun his boomstick, which became iconic to say the least. I know we have some Army of the Darkness fans out there, so at least we'll give you the respect. And, well, we talked about it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just slightly. We could have skipped it like we skipped his TV show, but we didn't. And I know, but we don't have the time to talk about Ash versus the Evil Dead.
It's true. But I do know a lot of people do like Army of Darkness, which is so funny because it's like, honest to God, if you watched it not thinking, like if you didn't have any idea who Ash Williams was, you just watched Army of Darkness, you'd be like, oh, this is actually kind of a solid film.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally can't watch it without being like, I want my Evil Dead hankering like right now. Like I'm hungry for my Evil Dead movie, and this movie is not that.
Right. Yeah, you definitely have to watch it with either knowing that or not knowing that, right?
Yeah.
And not knowing Evil Dead as a whole.
Yeah, I enjoyed certain parts about it. Don't think I'll watch it again in the near future, but I do know a lot of people out there. I'm sure we'll probably get some comments. People be like, you guys are idiots. You don't like Army of Darkness? I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it's my least favorite. Same with Jake. We might actually piss some people off now because then we move into the best Evil Dead films. Yes,
Some of our favorites.
I actually started Evil Dead when I was a kid. I didn't actually know what Evil Dead was. I used to watch like Halloween and all that stuff, and I remember being like, "What the heck is Evil Dead?"
I was never allowed to watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just never watched it, so I was like, it's interesting. And then the 2013 Evil Dead came out, and that was the first time I was introduced to Evil Dead. So maybe that is the reason why my older Evil Dead like love is not there as much as the new Evil Dead stuff, because it's like I kind of grew up with that 2013 one.
I mean, it was like prime of our age of,
Discovery.
teen years.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school.
Where, we're finding these new horror movies that are new to us at the time, but we didn't watch, the 70s and 80s films all the time.
Yeah. I mean, the new Scream 4 came out and all that. And I was very used to like, blood and stuff, but not to the extent that Evil Dead 2013 gave us. I mean, the amount of blood and the way, like, how metal that movie actually is. I had never seen anything like it before. And when I saw it, I go, oh my God, I love this movie. It was like just so off its rocker. Like it was awesome. So to me, that's where I stand. That's probably why I like the new Evil Dead stuff more than the old Evil Dead stuff.
It really makes you watch a movie and time just flies of how fast it goes because it's just so entertaining from start to finish.
Oh, it's high octane.
Yeah.
That's what I was like in the intro. I'm trying to say, like, the movies now, that's why I'm so excited for Burn, because they kind of feel like they've hit their stride of, okay, these movies are supposed to have a little bit of an intro, introduce you to the characters, kind of feel for the characters a little bit, and then just put them through the most hell that you could possibly put them through. And then each movie needs to have a boss fight and a chainsaw and all that. So it's like, that's what
It's true. However, I do think in the 2013 one, the boss fight could have probably been a little better. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think for its time, I thought it was fine.
It's true. I just, I compare it to Rise a lot. So, and
Rise is like another level.
It's true.
I do know some Evil Dead fans were disappointed by Rise, but I mean, the boss fight in Rise, I mean, is
just ridiculous.
Insane. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about 2013 real quick. So probably my favorite entry in the franchise. The Evil Dead reboot absolutely rips. In this film, a group of friends stay at a remote cabin, just like the one in the first film. They do this not because of a fun adventure, but to help the main character, Mia, detox from addiction. When the guy who looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo discovers and reads the Necronomicon, it unleashes a brutal and demonic force that infects them one by one. Our first fun fact is that this film was directed by Fede Alvarez. him and his movie are the reasons why I was so excited for Alien Romulus. And like, let's be real, Alien Romulus also ripped.
Dude, he does isolation so well.
He also, dude, the way that he films the movies are fantastic. He does fear really well. Also, he loves practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love that we got an actual alien in Romulus as opposed to like a CGI. Like it was
100%.
amplified by CGI, but it wasn't all CGI.
It was puppets.
The face huggers were all puppets and
Yeah.
stuff. I love that shit. I don't know. So anyway,
I think practical effects just add this just big aspect of realism that's hard to get with CGI.
Yeah.
You know, you watch CGI movies and some look good, but some look just like too over the top and it doesn't age well. Like CGI becomes better and all of a sudden you go back to some movies and it just doesn't look the same, but you can always go back to the practical effects movies and you're just blown away every time because of the amount of gore or whatever they're doing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's just next level.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why Terrifier is just going to be aging so well with its movie is because you'll go back and the arms ripped off are just going to look still insane.
yeah, I get that because CGI is always dated because it always is either getting better and then when it gets better, then the stuff that came before it is worse. But practical effects are all kind of the same. It's all real
There's
stuff.
like specific ways to do things. And that's just, you can't really, you can make it look more realistic, but I mean, nowadays it does look like it. So
Yeah, it does.
Like you've hit your peak and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it still is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I will watch anything that Fede Alvarez does. I'm super bummed he's not directing the Romulus sequel, but he is producing it. So hopefully that helps.
I hope so, because we've seen directors not come back for the sequel films and
I'm looking at you, Scott Derrickson, for Sinister 2, damn it.
it just doesn't work out.
I love Scott Derrickson. That's something I will watch. I will watch any Scott Derrickson film could ever find too.
Yeah. His little short in the
VHS. Yeah. Peak.
Gas.
His peak is fantastic. Yeah. So anyway, the film was produced by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. I actually do believe that they produce everything. It is still Sam Raimi's franchise. So
Yeah. At least be on it.
yeah. So this film features my favorite fact in all of horror. The scene at the end when Mia has to fight the abomination and ends up chainsawing it in half while it's raining blood. Well, that scene used over 50,000 gallons of fake blood, which for a long time held the record for most blood used in a scene. They used over 70,000 gallons for the whole film. Thankfully, Fede Alvarez is very much into practical effects, and it showed in this movie. Almost everything was practical, which made the film feel real and pay homage to the original. It also adopted a very dark tone, one that we haven't really seen from this franchise before. I know that you guys, if you've listened to our show, you know that whether it's superhero movies, action movies, things like that, I love a dark tone. I do, man. It's why I love the Batman so much. It's why I love Daredevil, because it's like such a darker tone than the rest of the MCU. Same with the Punisher. I love all those shows and the movies that are like
So grounded yet dark.
Exactly. Like, I don't know, man.
No, I completely agree.
I enjoyed the new Superman movie, but I would say that I enjoy the tone of the Zack Snyder one more.
Isn't it kind of crazy though that I'd rather walk out of that theater feeling the dread than a happy day like it just went well?
Yeah. No, I know. That's exactly how I feel. I think if you like the feeling that we got when we came out of Bring Her Back.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, you said a pit in your stomach. Or when I saw Joker, I came out and I was like, oh my God, I feel like shit. And it was like, you just feel terrible, but you do feel something.
That's huge.
Which is different than like if you just come out of a movie and go, yeah, it was entertaining. That was fun. And then anyway, go on about my life.
Yeah.
No, I like a movie that stays with you.
For a bit, for sure.
And I think that Evil Dead's I think they do that, at least the more recent ones, because like once they're done, you just go, God, I feel like I just ran a marathon.
Well, I know.
Because they're so like high
a
energy.
lot of the main cast, they die throughout the movie, and maybe you come to like a couple of them, and you're like, damn, that kind of sucks.
I could care less about the people in Evil Dead 2013. I liked the main brother and Mia. Those were the two. Oh, and the dog, Grandpa.
The dog.
But the other people in that, I just looked at them and I go, Deadite 1, Deadite 2, Deadite 3.
Though, it makes sense not to care for some of the characters. In Rise, I felt different.
Yeah. Oh, I actually am sad that the mom, who seemed like such a nice lady, turned out to be like, she was in there still, you know, but she became this just monstrosity that you just had to take out.
I know. And
then her kids are all like turning into him too. And hey, you're chalked, dude. It's over. But yeah, if the little girl went down, I'd be like,
iconic Evil Dead with, doing something with glass shards.
Yeah, it's not an Evil Dead movie if you don't sit there and go, when,
literally some of the scenes I'm just sitting there and I'm like, holy cow.
Cheese grater, the meat grinder in 2013, like when she cuts her arm off.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then it just like falls off, like stringing falls off. Dude. My goodness.
Yeah, these movies they're sick, man. I love them. Yeah, so the Evil Dead Rise. So this is the most recent Evil Dead film. This one took the franchise away from the classic cabin in the woods trope. Instead, the Deadites found themselves in a Los Angeles apartment building. Here, a single mother became possessed after her kids discovered the Necronomicon. And what follows is a high-octane nightmare that goes from 0 to 100 real quick. A couple fun facts about this movie are...
Open up now.
Okay. You good, man?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay.
Anyway, just listening.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So it was directed by Lee Cronin, who just recently released his version of The Mummy, which I enjoyed because it literally just felt like Evil Dead with an Egyptian filter placed over it. Also, Lee Cronin had so much fun with Evil Dead Rise that he actually wrote another one, like another Evil Dead, but the studio had other plans, so they told him to just use that story, but for The Mummy. Pretty wild.
I mean, you could definitely tell it had the Evil Dead vibes for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Did you like The Mummy?
I
liked it. I thought it was enjoyable. I liked that like horror take. I also loved the boss fight at the end. Like when she goes full mummy. I'll be honest with you.
I loved the ending though. The ending
where it comes like full circle.
Yes. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah,
I was
cool.
like, this guy got exactly, or the lady got exactly what she had coming for her.
Yeah.
And the way they do it, they all just go in there and they're just like, yep, you're fucked.
Yeah. I just love because it still had the idea of Evil Dead. Like it still had the gross factor. Like when the one detective lady has the scorpion puncture through her throat.
Oh yeah.
But she can't talk, but she has to say the words. She pushes in on her windpipe to speak it. Oh, gross. Or the nail thing. When she rips the freaking nail off and it pulls the skin all the way up the leg off.
I know.
Bro, I audibly went, oh, God.
Yeah, no, that was disgusting.
I love the ending. Well, the whole idea that the fact that, like, when you're a mummy, you're in wrappings.
Yeah.
Her layers of skin were the wrappings.
That held, like...
That's fucking gross.
Cryptic, like... ancient messages to hold the evil in. That's crazy.
Dude.
That's crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, I thought it was pretty decent.
The whole idea was good. I just, I felt like the movie was too long.
That's fair.
That's my opinion. But
I'll give you that.
It just felt like it could have been told so much faster. And I get there was a lot of details that you had to like show on screen, but it just felt too long. But that was it.
There were a couple scenes in there that I could give you. They did nothing for the plot.
Yeah.
And you could have just taken them out because that same plot device is used later. Like there's a character, the detective lady, there's a scene I remember where she's in this room and she's trying to find something and she like she finds a tape and she puts the tape in.
Yep.
but then like the phone rings and she just goes to answer the phone and you don't even hear like who's on the phone call and she doesn't see the tape. So you could have just cut that whole like 5-minute scene and then had her like at the end go, "Hey, I found this tape." You know what I mean?
At the door.
Yeah. That could have been fine.
Little things like that just could have been easy clippings off of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pacing would have been better for me, I think.
Yeah, I agree. The pacing could have been better. But so yeah, as we just talked about, every Evil Dead movie is known for having some crazy scene. And this one was the cheese grater scene. It became the most talked about aspect just because of how it made everybody in theaters worldwide go, ah. My last fun fact for this film is that there was originally planned to go straight to streaming. It had been a long time since an Evil Dead movie came out. So they were like, and HBO Max was like a new thing. And they were like, let's just go and put it to Max. But strong early reactions made it aware that this movie rips and that it was going to go straight to theaters. And thank God it did too, because its strong reactions and money-making abilities showed that this franchise is far from dead. Not only are we getting Evil Dead Burn in just the next few days, but we're also getting Evil Dead Wrath, which is already in post-production and will be released next year. So now that all the movies are out of the way, let's dive into some fun little surprises for you guys.
It's true. One last little thing about Evil Dead Rise,
Yes,
though.
hit me.
One of the best opening title card intros I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
You know, it is cool.
When she rises out of the water and the title's just coming up behind her, insane.
It's definitely super solid, dude. I know. So yeah, let's start with our new segment, Deadite of the Week. In this new segment, we're going to talk about our favorite Deadites throughout the franchise. So for me, my Deadite of the Week goes to Ellie, otherwise known as the Mother. The story of her husband walking out on her and her 3 kids made her demise in Evil Dead Rise a sad story. But the acting by Alyssa Sutherland makes Ellie's tragic story a joy to watch on screen because her Deadite performance was absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that Alyssa Sutherland hates horror movies makes her performance that much more impressive. My favorite scene from her is not actually something that she says. It's not a kill that she has, but it's actually when she's outside of her apartment. Her kid just becomes a Deadite and is attacking the rest of the family. And we just randomly cut to Ellie outside of the door, just shaking it and laughing and screaming all at like the same time. It's an absolutely metal scene. I don't think it's talked about enough. It just makes me go, oh my God, every time I see it. Anyway, Cal's Deadite of the Week is Ellie.
Now for me. For my Deadite of the Week, obviously, I'm going to give it to Mia, Jane Levy from Evil Dead 2013. You may know her as Mandy from Shameless Season 1. That's how I knew her. I was like, oh, shit. That's funny that connection happened. But one aspect of her story that makes her role, so compelling is that the idea that she's battling withdrawal at the same time she's actively being possessed is a true adaptation to fighting the inner demons. Yeah. Which is so crazy to me that it's like she has to go through the ringer with just trying to get off of drugs. Uh-huh. And now she's possessed and just ripping people apart. Yeah. It's just so interesting to me.
Sawing her tongue in half with a little box cutter.
That scene is insane. And then that whole stair scene is wild. Fede Alvarez brought back the meaning of the final girl, and with Jane's performance throughout the movie, it completely makes sense that she is the one to survive this horrendous night. I have 2 scenes in mind that, make her performance great. And, the first one is when the brother comes into the room to talk to her for the first time after she comes back from the woods.
Yeah.
She's insane.
Like when her eyes are all crazy. Yeah,
he's like sitting in the light and she's like in the darkness with a little bit of light on her face and her eyes and pupils are just like so wide. Uh-huh. And you're sitting there going, holy shit, she's kind of scary. She's sitting on the bed. Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God. And he's like, sorry, Mio, you're staying here. And she's just like freaking out. And she's like, it's in the room. Yeah. Yeah. That scene is crazy. Mm-hmm. And the second one is the final act of the movie when her hand is trapped under the car.
Oh yeah.
I think it's so cool that it kind of has a tie back to the old one, right?
Mhm.
Where she rips her hand off,
Yeah.
grabs the chainsaw, and kills the last
It's like
boss.
She technically has a chainsaw for a hand.
Right, yeah.
Right,
Technically. She puts it on underneath it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But it was I thought that was really cool for someone that has just gone through the ringer, and all I can say is her performance was crazy good.
Yeah. All right. So for me, Jake's Deadite of the week. All right. Now for our next segment, would you survive? In this segment, we're going to take you through some of Evil Dead's famous locations and situations, and we're going to talk about whether we think we could survive in them or not. So for starters, we're going to go ahead and talk about the cabin in the woods. Probably the most...
Not the movie.
No. Probably the most famous setting in any Evil Dead movie is a standard cabin in the woods. Let's get into our rankings here. So for starters, how alone are you? Well, the cabin in these movies is super secluded with nobody around for miles. Being chased by Deadites would certainly not be fun. Next, is there an escape route? Well, once the road bridge washes out, no, there's not. So, with Deadite hotspots like the cabin basement and the outside shed, I would say that your chances of surviving the cabin in the woods are about 1 out of 10. I will give you a 3 out of 10 if you didn't read from the Necronomicon, though.
Maybe don't open the book that's wrapped in a trash bag and
Barbed wire.
barbed wire. Yeah.
It's funny because the old Necronomicon, like the Sam Raimi one, actually has like a face on it. And it's like, I would, that's like probably the one. If you saw a book with a face on it made out of human skin, I'd probably be like, I'm not
Better not touch that.
gonna touch that.
But also, like, you know, in the 2013 one, obviously, it's got like that, stitched together all across it. Just like looks crazy. And I don't know. Reading aloud, maybe when you open the book, but also I just probably would be more mute and just like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe don't say this stuff.
yeah, maybe not.
In the Rise, though, I mean, that one's crazy 'cause it's got like teeth on it.
Yeah. And then it opens up after it's taken your blood.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, that one's wild because it's like,
That one like, is more scary than the 2013 one.
I think that one's probably, it's probably the scariest one.
Yeah.
Because the drawings in that one are insane. But that one is so interesting because it's like the dude didn't read out of it.
No.
He just used the records and then couldn't stop playing. Like once it said the first word, he was trying to stop it and then it wouldn't stop. And he's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was a cool play.
oh yeah, because it is true. It's like, why would you read out of that? I mean, I get it. You'd probably be like, what does that mean? What word is that? And then you probably say it out loud.
Yeah.
But every one of them, maybe not. Looking at you, Shaggy from 2013.
It is true though. Like being that, isolated in a place where the road is now a river.
Yeah.
You're not leaving. You're
Yeah.
just not.
You got to fight.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out.
And our chance of survival could be better maybe if you did actually understand the book. But like
Yeah.
being so consumed with what's going on, you probably don't even think we should check out the rest of the book and see if it tells us how to kill it.
It is pretty crazy, isn't it? That like you read the book to start the whole thing, but you also have to read the book to end it. Because otherwise you're not going to know what the hell's going on.
Right.
So it's kind of like a twisted game where it's like you don't want to like read more in the book because you could just make things worse.
But you're watching all these people just get absolutely annihilated.
Exactly. But you think like, oh, this is my fault. And then you're like, should I read in the book or would this make things worse because I just made things terrible?
Yeah.
But you have to read in the book to figure out how to stop this stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a twisted game there.
Let's move on to the medieval Deadite world. Could you survive the world of the Army of Darkness, where magic exists and you are equipped with swords and shields? Does this place offer a better chance of surviving? I would say yeah, but not by much. The bad news is you're going against a massive army of the dead. The good news is you have pretty much everything you need, though,
Yeah.
in the palm of your hand. Like, it's an open battlefield, and also you need the Book of the Dead to survive in this world, so you must find it. I would say surviving in this world is going to have better odds because you aren't trapped in a cabin with nobody around, but the odds aren't much better because the Deadite force you're going up against is huge. So your overall chances are probably going to be a 4, maybe 5.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. I would take a medieval world just over this world any day. So it's like, what, I just have to fight a
We were
army
born
of-
in the wrong era.
Hell yeah. No, the way I've been getting sick lately, I'd probably be dead by now.
Yeah, living in a medieval world, I always would find great when we watch House of the Dragon and stuff. But then they're also like, well, you could be a peasant.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're not
born into the royal family.
Yeah.
You could be screwed.
Yeah,
you could work
exactly.
your way up, I guess. But
try to be a knight or something.
Yeah.
But if you're
yeah.
not, I mean, you're just a townsperson.
yeah, I don't know. Swords and shields, though. I mean, you got a good fighting chance against it.
Yeah.
But then you watch Walking Dead and they had guns and they still died. So.
Well, that's the, I mean, yeah.
You know?
I just think, dude, like, let's be real though. I mean,
But then you
If
like
we-
think
if
of
we
Lord of the
didn't-
Rings.
if we didn't have guns and society was built on just like swords and shields, I mean, dude, let's be real. Be kind of sick. I don't know. I feel like you'd have to actually like put in the time to practice your sword art in order to like fight somebody. Because like now you could just pull a gun on somebody who's like way bigger than you and stuff, and all of a sudden you win.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you have a gun. Like that doesn't make you any better of a fighter. It doesn't make you any of
Right.
that. It's just that's
Yeah.
just like
But
the
if I beat you with sword combat,
yeah.
then I'm proven myself to be a better swordsman than you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you wouldn't kill that person either. You'd probably just be like,
That's why I
put
like,
the sword up to the neck.
boxing or MMA is fun because it's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you might get a lucky shot that drops somebody, but usually it's the more technical fighters
Yeah.
that and elite fighters that prevail.
Bested in combat. Yes, exactly. Anyway, interesting tangent. So now we're going to go to the apartment building outbreak. Is it weird that I think this one is more isolated than the cabin in the woods? I mean, an old broken down apartment building where an earthquake hits and knocks out the stairs. Like at least the cabin in the woods, you can like run around. I think it's almost worse knowing that there's an entire city full of people around you, but you can't reach them. From its ventilation systems to its compact hallway and no escape. I don't know, man. I think your survival chances here are about 0 out of 10.
I would say that too, mostly because like you're basically confined to a 1,000 square foot room.
Yeah, and you even see, the ventilation.
Yeah.
Like they can come in anywhere. Like
Yeah.
if there's an area, I mean, you're pretty much screwed. You also can't just wait it out.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because
Like-
she was waiting by the door.
And also, she said the building's going to be knocked down in a month. So if you somehow last a month and the Deadites are still walking around, you're going to get knocked down by the freaking the city in a month. Like,
Yeah, one thing I found so interesting is like, she sits outside the door and you think everything's okay and, some bad things happen inside. But then all of a sudden she just gets in.
yeah, through the ventilation system. Yeah,
and
it's
you're just
crazy.
like, well, yeah, locking the door didn't mean shit.
Yeah. Now you have to leave and then just go down that sketchy ass elevator and see what happens. That's like your only chance.
Which was a crazy blood scene.
I know. All right. Our next segment, new Evil Dead ideas. In this special segment, Jake and I are going to craft our own potential Evil Dead film ideas, because the cool thing about this franchise is that you can honestly just drop a Necronomicon anywhere and it'll be a blast to watch. So for me, my idea is that there's a group of people that go on a ski trip in Colorado. They have fun and party and all that jazz, but when a blizzard rolls through while they're on a ski lift, they have to find a way to get down, which already breathes some real world fear into the film. They then have to get down the mountain, but get lost because of the blizzard. They end up finding an old log cabin, and in the basement, there is a Necronomicon. Obviously, they read it, and the Deadite onslaught begins. The boss fight at the end could be some sort of frozen creature that is almost like a mix of a Yeti and a Deadite. I think since we're having an Evil Dead based around fire here in the next couple of days, we should definitely have one that's based around snow and ice.
That would be quite a movie. It'd be interesting.
Like Evil Dead Burn, the next one. Evil Dead Cold.
Frost.
Evil Dead Frost. Yeah. Kind of sick. Hollywood, just pay me. I'll take my paycheck whenever.
My idea that I had was, I love the confined spaces. I think the isolation and being in such a tight corridor area is really cool. So I think, my idea comes from a historic research crew or get a call of some sort for permission to investigate this old abandoned ship a ways from shore. They take a tender boat there to go check it out. And while exploring, their tender gets destroyed in a storm, so they can't get back. And they're stuck on this ship.
Nice. I like that you and I both have storms.
Yeah. And on this ship, they find the Necronomicon in the captain's quarters.
Uh-huh.
And one of the guys, obviously reads it or plays an old tape of some sort or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I didn't think about it too in depth.
They launch it. Yeah.
Yeah. It unleashes crazy sea Deadites, which would be kind of crazy, like seaweed and all this kind of craziness.
Are we thinking like
you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, I was just gonna say like Davy Jones's crew or something.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be crazy.
That'd be cool.
And things go crazy and the story continues, and that's what will make a good Evil Dead movie.
Yeah.
I just think that the final boss there could just be something that just like comes straight out of the sea, and you're just like, what the hell is this thing?
It's just actually Davy Jones. He's like, you shouldn't have read that book, Jack.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be kind of fun. It would give you
cool.
like a cool, it would still give you the storm at night, right?
Yeah.
It'd be raining and, which is happens all the time in the Evil Dead movies. So
it does.
I thought about that. I was like, you could take the tender boat out by, a big wave just destroying it or something.
Yep.
So, yeah, interesting.
That's a good one. All right. Let us know if you'd watch any of those. What would your Evil Dead idea be? Let us know down below. So yeah, now we're going to talk about the one movie that comes out here in about 2 days. Evil Dead Burn. So really quick, what are your thoughts after seeing the trailers and stuff? What do you think Evil Dead Burn is going to be about?
We talked about this, I think, offline, but I just feel like the Deadites are going to be already existing and come into this isolated place of this house.
Because of
whoever's driving that car. Right?
Yeah. Seems like the dad and like his daughter.
Right.
Drive into this house and they run into the lady from the first one. Or
that's what we think.
Rise.
That's what we think.
Yeah, we don't know, but there's a shot in the trailer that looks like the one lady who rose out of the water for the title card for Rise, like the camp or whatever, that little like
it's just like it looks like an Airbnb on the lake.
Yeah. And obviously some shit went down. So we end with that character like getting possessed. So obviously the beginning of that movie leads into something, we just don't know what. So yeah, we had this idea that they're kind of talking about the Necronomicon, but I don't actually think there's going to be one in here.
Yeah, because when watching the trailer, we see a book, but it does not look like the book at all.
No, it looks like a standard journal. And I guess you could do that if you want to take creative liberty and just be like, oh, it's just a journal. But I think somebody took notes
about it.
Yeah. So they're going to find out how to stop it through that. But I don't think that the actual Necronomicon is in it. I think.
Yeah, because it'll already be there. So there will be no reason to say, any of the ancient sayings in the book.
Yeah, because they're already. Yeah,
it's already possessed and it's just continuing on some storyline.
True. It's either that's one way that we think the movie could go, or it is just going to be if they want to tie it into the other one. Or it's just going to be a standard standalone Evil Dead film, which I'm totally cool with. But And then they'll find the book and they'll do all that. But Lee Cronin from Evil Dead Rise, he stated that in the old Evil Dead films, Sam Raimi said that there were 3 books. There were 3 Necronomicons. And so Lee Cronin treated it as Sam Raimi got one Necronomicon, the one with the face on it. Fede got the second Necronomicon, which was the stitched one. And then Lee Cronin wanted to do the third Necronomicon, which had the teeth on it. So if they want to keep going with that lore and that philosophy, then the 3 are already out there.
Right.
So connecting it to Rise, in my opinion, would make sense unless they somehow brought one of the Necronomicons from the other films into Burn somehow.
Yeah.
So if they want to connect it, again, if it's just a standalone Evil Dead film, we won't
be mad, but I think it would be kind of interesting to see it connected.
I think it'd be cool to see it connect. I like low-key kind of hope our theory is right.
Yeah.
But if it's not, I'm also not mad about it, because the reason why I like Evil Dead so much is that you can just, like I said,
you just take all these directors with different Evil Dead ideas and they all bring out the same theme. That's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't be pissed if they didn't connect it. But if they do, I'll be like, oh shit, do we actually have like a franchise on our hands?
Yeah.
Like, are we going to see Mia show up again? Where's Ash at? You know, like then we'll know, oh, these are all actually connected. Where's Beth at? She walked away with the little girl and has a chainsaw covered in blood.
Exactly.
Where's she at? Where's Sam Jackson putting together a team? The Avengers Evil Dead edition. This is all the survivors. I hate that I would watch the shit out of that. I know that I said that as a joke. I genuinely would watch the hell out of that, though.
All these badasses coming together
to have to defeat the final boss of Evil Dead. I mean, come on.
They're like, let's do this again. Revs the chainsaw.
Yeah, I would watch the hell out of it. Everybody has a chainsaw. All right. Anyway, guys, are you excited for Evil Dead Burn? Let us know. With that, we have wrapped up our Evil Dead special episode. So what do you think of the franchise as a whole? Are you excited for the next entries? Do you hope that it keeps going after Wrath? What's your favorite Evil Dead movie? And yes, again, are you excited for Evil Dead Burn? Are you going to go see it?
Yeah, it's going to be good.
All right, guys. So thanks for listening. Yep. Stay safe, stay spooky, and we will see you around the
Dead by dawn. Dead by dawn.
Jake.
Dead by dawn.
Jake.
Dead by dawn.
Oh my God.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Supernaturals. Be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms. See you around the graveyard.